who were the Ottoman Turks, and who created the Ottoman Empire. Osman, born in 1258 and died 1326, was the ruler of a Turkmen principality in northwestern Anatolia, who is regarded as the founder of the Ottoman Turkish state. Both the name of the dynasty and the empire that the dynasty established are derived from the Arabic former Uthman's name. Osman was descended from the Kai branch of the Oghuz Turkmen. His father, Ertugrul, had established a principality centered at Sgt, with Sgt as their base. Osman and the Muslim frontier warriors, Ghazis, under his command, waged a slow and stubborn conflict against the Byzantines, who sought to defend their territories in the hinterland of the Asiatic shore opposite Constantinople, now Istanbul. Osman gradually extended his control over several former Byzantine fortresses, including Yenisehir, which provided the Ottomans with a strong base to lay siege to Bursa, and Nicaea, now Iznik, in northwestern Anatolia. Osman was succeeded by his son Orhan, who captured Bursa on April 6, 1326. Ottoman tradition holds that Osman died just after the capture of Bursa, but some scholars have argued that his death should be placed in 1324. The year of Orhan's accession, *. The Ottoman period spanned more than 600 years and came to an end only in 1922, when it was replaced by the Turkish Republic and various successor states in southeastern Europe and the Middle East. At its height, the empire encompassed most of southeastern Europe to the gates of Vienna, including present-day Hungary, the Balkan region, Greece, and parts of Ukraine. Portions of the Middle East, now occupied by Iraq, Syria, Israel, and Egypt. North Africa, as far west as Algeria, and large parts of the Arabian Peninsula. The first period of Ottoman history was characterized by almost continuous territorial expansion, during which Ottoman dominion spread out from a small northwestern Anatolian principality to cover most of southeastern Europe and Anatolia. The political, economic, and social institutions of the classical Islamic empires were amalgamated with those inherited from Byzantium and the great Turkish empires of Central Asia, and were re-established in new forms that were to characterize the area into modern times. In Ottoman's initial stages of expansion period is from 1300 to 1402. The Ottomans were leaders of the Turkish warriors for the faith of Islam, known by the honorific title Gachzi, Arabic, Raider, who fought against the shrinking Christian Byzantine state. The ancestors of Osman I, the founder of the dynasty, were members of the Kai tribe who had entered Anatolia along with a mass of Turkmen Oghuz nomads. Those nomads, migrating from Central Asia, established themselves as the Seljuk dynasty in Iran and Mesopotamia in the mid-11th century, overwhelmed Byzantium after the Battle of Manzikert 1071, and occupied eastern and central Anatolia during the 12th century. The Ghazis fought against the Byzantines and then the Mongols, who invaded Anatolia following the establishment of the Ilkhanid Empire in Iran and Mesopotamia in the last half of the 13th century. With the disintegration of Seljuk power and its replacement by Mongols, enforced by direct military occupation of much of eastern Anatolia, independent Turkmen principalities, one of which was led by Osman, emerged in the remainder of Anatolia. Following the final NHL defeat of the Seljuks in 1293, Osman emerged as Prince Bey of the border principality that took over Byzantine Bithynia in northwestern Anatolia around Bursa, commanding the Ghazis against the Byzantines in that area, hemmed in on the east by the more powerful Turkmen principality of Osman and his immediate successors concentrated their attacks on Byzantine territories, bordering the Bosporus and the Sea of Marmara to the west. The Ottomans, left as the major Muslim rivals of Byzantium, attracted masses of nomads and urban unemployed who were roaming through the Middle East, searching for means to gain their livelihoods and seeking to fulfill their religious desire to expand the territory of Islam. The Ottomans were able to take advantage of the decay of the Byzantine frontier defense system and the rise of economic, religious, and social discontent in the Byzantine Empire, and, beginning under Osman and continuing under his successors, Orhan took over Byzantine territories, first in western Anatolia and then in southeastern Europe. It was only under Bazid I that the wealth and power gained by that initial expansion were used to assimilate the Anatolian Turkish principalities to the east. By 1300, Osman ruled an area in Anatolia stretching from Eskişehir, which was known as, to the plains of Iznik, which was known as Nasir. Having defeated several organized Byzantine efforts to curb his expansion, Byzantine attempts to secure Ilkhanid support against the Ottomans from the east were unsuccessful, and the Byzantine emperor's use of mercenary troops from Western Europe caused more damage to his own territory than to that of the Turks. The Ottomans lacked effective siege equipment, were unable to take the major cities of Byzantium, nor could they move against their increasingly powerful Turkmen neighbors, the Aydin and Karask dynasties, which had taken over Byzantine territory in southwestern Anatolia. Orhan's capture of Bursa in 1324, some sources date the event to 1326, provided the first means for developing the administrative, economic, and military power necessary to make the principality into a real state and to create an army. Orhan began the military policy, expanded by his successors, of employing Christian mercenary troops, thus lessening his dependence on the nomads. Orhan soon was able to capture the remaining Byzantine towns in northwestern Anatolia, Iznikon 1331 and Izmit in 1337, and Üsküdar'ın Esensembar. He then moved against his major Turkmen neighbors to the south, taking advantage of internal conflicts. Orhan annexed Karask in 1345 and gained control of the area between the Gulf of Idrimut and Kapadak, which was known as Sisicus, reaching the Sea of Marmara. He thus put himself in a position to end the lucrative monopoly enjoyed by the city of Aydin, that of providing mercenary troops to competing Byzantine factions in Thrace and at the Byzantine capital, Constantinople, present-day Istanbul. The expansion also enabled the Ottomans to replace Aydin as the principal ally of the Byzantine Emperor John VI Kantakouzenes. The consequent entry of Ottoman troops into Europe gave them a direct opportunity to see the possibilities for conquest offered by Byzantine decadence. The collapse of Aydin following the death of its ruler, Umar Bey, left the Ottomans alone as the leaders of the Ghazis against the Byzantines. Orhan helped Kantakouzenes take the throne of Byzantium from John V Palaeologus, and, as a reward, secured the right to ravage Thrace and to marry the emperor's daughter Theodora.